What is up, and welcome in to the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann. I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-hosts. He's a Chicago public league legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day, and he is now the head coach at Simeon. Is it Career Academy?
Career Academy.
Simeon Career Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Head baseball coach for the Wolverines. He is Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we got our NFL draft analyst. You can see all this work at NBC Sports Chicago, on Football Night in Chicago, on what are the other shows? The Under Center podcast. What else are you doing, man? We lost your audio, man.
Yeah, audio went out. It's back.
No. Me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean,
well, he's everywhere. He is Glenn Morgan. He's our GM. Gentlemen, it's been a while. Glad to be back.
It's been a while.
Glad to be back.
It's been a moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
Right.
yeah. I was hanging out in the Pacific Northwest, and I got a chance to see a Bears game in a different country. I was up in Canada, in Vancouver, and let me tell you, no one gives a care about Chicago Bears football in Vancouver, British Columbia. Let me tell you, went to a bar, and everyone was paying attention to the preseason Boston Bruins New York Rangers game that was on. I had to beg for a TV to get the Bears Washington game. And I did get it, and got to see a big win for the beloved Bears. So
That was
definitely
short-lived.
No. You know what, man? It made the vacation better because I didn't have to worry about the Bears after that. So that was cool, and I was able to forget about them. But then on my way back, I had to watch what happened against Minnesota, and that just brought everything reeling back, man. So
Should have stayed in Canada.
Really could have.
Right.
Really should have. So Justin separates his dislocates his thumb. Tyson Bagent, we got to see him in action, and not bad. Not bad. Not great.
Not great.
He's a backup quarterback. All right.
Yeah. Rookie.
But man,
No, hell no. He wasn't nothing. Too many people went because people been clamoring for him, and they even trying to he got the ball out so fast. Yeah, we threw 3 screens in a row. Are we serious? He got rid of one ball quick, and that was the first pass he threw after he had the fumble, the damn out. Other than that, he threw 3 screens in a row. He had one lucky catch that Tyler Scott got, where he just threw the ball up in the air, and Tyler Scott ran 30 yards back to the ball to get it.
But it was decisive.
Like, come on, man.
Toss today.
Like, people out here want Justin gone so bad.
You would think the Justin Fields era in Chicago was over. The way everyone's talking here in the city. I mean, even, man, sports radio has basically they've wiped their hands of him. Justin's done. It's either going to be Bagent or we're getting a new quarterback in the draft. And it's like, dude, we're only 6 games into the season.
6 games in.
Justin's only going to be gone for a couple weeks. I mean,
and he still has better stats than some of the well-known quarterbacks in the league today.
We're 2 weeks removed from him having 8 touchdown passes and throwing for 600 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But it's over.
But those are against horrible defenses.
Come on, man. That really ticked me off, man. And I know he didn't play great against Minnesota, but honestly, he wasn't.
Well,
as I said for Bagent, he wasn't awful. The game wasn't over.
The game plan was terrible.
It was terrible at the beginning. It really was.
The game plan was awful, man. From the very beginning. From the very beginning. And I'm like, okay, people saying like you got to know that hot's coming. But in that play, his first read shouldn't be blasting game.
You talking about the first play of the game?
Yeah.
I don't care who it
Well,
is, but both of those guys were in the same space.
Somebody's got to pick that up.
Then you say,
well, no one was going to pick that up.
Somebody's got
overload.
No. I understand it was an overload, but somebody's got to see that and either I may put that on Justin. He's either got to check out of that or
they say it was the right. They claim it was the right.
Yeah,
he checked into the right.
Right, because the
pass protection.
The blocking was shifted to his right.
It was going right.
Yeah, he was shifted to his right. So the hot guy was going to be the one that's
free,
arguably closer to him. It's free on his blind side. But the thing is, you get the ball, you get rid of it. And Justin was about to get rid of it, but you see the one guy does a curl, and the other guy is cutting right into where the guy does a curl. So Justin's like, I can't throw this because there's a defender. The guy that's cutting is bringing his defender with him right where the guy had curled. It was a clusterfuck. That caused him to hesitate, and he had at that point, yeah, he was done. So, but I say to Smoke's point, it's like you got to know this. Everybody knew that Brian Flores is going to be blitzing. And you got to know that they're going to force Justin to try and hesitate and hold the ball because he does that even when there's no blitzing.
Mm-hmm.
So you should probably on your first play not go empty back set. I'm just saying, maybe you run the ball. Go to your strength. For whatever reason, we lead the league in rushing last year, but we come out wanting to pass every fucking time to start the game. It's like, no, dude, do your strength and then do play action off of that.
Well, but after that possession, we go run. Then we run the ball down their throat, get down to third and third and something inside the like 10 maybe. And we put Justin under center and we go straight drop back. We just ran the ball down their throat. We put Justin under center and we go straight drop back. And then Justin gets hit as he's trying to hit commit and the ball goes in the dirt. Like the game plan was just terrible, man. It was like, to me, it felt like the coaching staff, two things. Yetzi wanted Eberflus to regain some control, and his defense played very well. So it was like,
give us the defense. They gave up 13 points. They had a really good day.
So it felt like it was let's let Eberflus gain some more control. Offense let's go back to the shitter. Like it was like we got the fan base off our ass, saved our jobs. Now back to the BS. It was just no creativity in that offense.
Well, I can't believe they want to go back to the BS on purpose.
I mean,
but to your point,
me, I'm the conspiracy
theorist. But to your point, they reverted back to probably who they are, and that's not necessarily the best game planners, particularly on offense. It's like, dude, like it's a head scratcher. It's like you come out with some good, like Washington, you came out with a good game plan. Now they create pressure, but they don't do it by blitzing.
Maybe they should just play on a short week every week.
Maybe they should just play on a short week every week.
They had 10 days to come up with that game plan.
Which is mind blowing because last year it was the reverse.
Yeah.
We sucked when we played Washington on Thursday, and the 10 days helped.
Against New England. Yeah.
It was the reverse this year.
I will say that, I mean, you guys alluded to it earlier, the defense seems to be understanding how they're supposed to be acting and reacting in this defense. And the guys are getting comfortable in the rules, and the secondary starting to get a little bit healthier. I really think that defense is going to begin to shine as the season wears on. Because again, outside of maybe the Chargers, I don't know if there's another prolific offense. Detroit, I guess you could say, in terms of maybe being dangerous, might be the only other offenses that we'll face that we should be, saying like, well, this offense can put up some numbers on you. So the defense, and even with that, I don't fear Detroit's offense. So it's just that the offense is so Chicago Bear offense is, and the thing is, keep coming back to Getsy, man. And I'm not trying to absolve Justin by any stretch of the mean. I'm frustrated with Justin too. I'm frustrated in the sense that I'm like, all right, dude, I'm watching all these other quarterbacks, watching his peers. I'm watching Trevor Lawrence. Okay, it's a different situation, but he's getting rid of the ball. I'm watching even Bagent. Bagent was still getting rid of the ball. I know you're not pumped for what Bagent did, but he's still getting rid of the ball. And Justin sometimes he has a tendency to make the situation a little worse than what he's not able to mitigate it. He's not he's got to be a problem solver. He's gonna have to be his own problem solver. And right now, I don't see that from him consistently. Um, it's like when things are going good, Justin's good. When things are going poorly, outside of him running, he hasn't been able to solve it as a quarterback. And I don't know why that's such the case. Definitely coaching has a lot to do with it. But at some point, Justin's gotta you gotta do it for yourself if the coaches aren't gonna do it. No, it's tough to say. Like he's not a rookie. He's not in his second year. And I don't know, man. It's tough because it's gonna come down to we keep Justin, that means we have a new offensive coordinator. If we don't keep Justin, that means we still have a new offensive coordinator, but it's a new quarterback. So are we building with a new quarterback, young, with an offense that may be better? Or are we getting another offensive coordinator that may not be good? It's going to take a while for the things to gel. It's a clusterfuck right now.
So you're saying that Getsy's gone no matter what.
He has to be. Dude, I look. He like Smoke said, he bought himself a couple of weeks with the Denver putting up 28 points or however many points. They should put up more, but you saw a bit of a turnaround or the beginnings of a turnaround. And then the Washington game was like really well done. It's like, okay, more of that. And so I as a fan, just as a fan, not easy smoking a GM, podcaster, not as an NBC, draft analyst person. Just as a fan, I was really looking forward to us playing Minnesota and being able to compete with them on the scoreboard. I figured even with Justin Jefferson being gone, I still thought that they would have a pretty decent offense in terms of moving the ball. And I know they've been struggling running, but they got Cam Akers that might help it run the game a little bit. They still have weapons, and Kirk Cousins still going to throw the ball. So I was like, man, this would be nice to see Justin be able to compete against, a peer quarterback in the division, division rival, if not peer, because the age difference, but rival. And the first play, I'm like, dude, like, what are we doing here? Then the second play is like, okay, why didn't you start off with that play to begin with? Like, why not use the RPO to Justin's benefit because he can read the defense a little bit better, force the defense, read off them, so they'd have to commit to him. And then it's like every time they take a step forward, they take 4 steps back. And it's like they had a good drive, and then Justin gets he's throwing the ball, and then instead of a scoring opportunity, the interception we got, we just gave it right back to him. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like this doesn't make any sense, and it's bad. Like you said, it's bad game planning, and then it's bad play calling on top of the bad game planning. So how I mean, as opposed, here's the thing: your coaching staff never gets hurt. Okay, your quarterback, he may get injured. He has to deal with being dinged and hit, and everything happening to him on the field.
Well, our defensive coordinator just leaves out of nowhere.
But yeah,
It's sort of the same thing.
kind of. But what I'm saying is, Getsy's situation is you've had a full season, and you're supposed to be, you have all this time to think about it and to game plan it and to go over it and to try it and all these things, and this is the best you're doing, and you come back the next week and do the same thing. It's like, or worse, it's like, in Minnesota. Look, I know Brian Flores is new to the division, but he's not new to the league. You not watch any game tape of what he's done as a head coach in the Dolphins, as a DC with New England. You have stuff on him, and this is what you came up with. And there's nobody on the coaching staff can check you. Nobody to say, "Hey, coach, maybe we should try this." The offensive line coach isn't telling you anything. The running backs coach.
Do you think they went back that far on Flores?
Offensive line coach, I don't know what he was. Goddamn lineman was blocking each other.
I saw that. No, seriously. Do you think they went back on Flores?
I don't think they didn't look like they went back on him.
I don't think they did.
Didn't look like they scouted the defensive coordinator outside of maybe what he's been doing in Minnesota. But I'm like,
did y'all hear what DJ Moore said?
No.
He said we came in thinking they were going to do something else. They came in and did something completely different. I don't know if he's trolling or what, because everybody in the world know that Flores blitz. Don't give a damn what kind of, you might have thought he was going to do this blitz, but goddamn it, he still blitz. You should be like, that's bad. That's bad.
Right. You're not able to make adjustments. That. Yes. Like, look, man, if you got a young quarterback and he's not making those site adjustments because he's not a veteran or he doesn't have, experience, blah, blah, blah. That's why your offensive coordinator and your quarterback coach, your wide receiver coach, whoever helps with the passing coordinating part of the game, you guys got to you got to have moves. It's like we don't have any. We're like the worst offensive counter-punching team I've seen.
Yeah,
man. Maybe what we saw for 2 weeks was legit them not coaching and Justin saying, "Let me be free." And for Minnesota, Justin decided to let them coach again.
He put out some crazy theories.
And that man, look, hey, that man, for 10 days after the way they played against Washington, to come out and be that stagnant on offense was mind blowing. It was mind blowing. We ran the ball very well with our third and pickup free agent back.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna call him fourth string. We ran the ball well.
No,
they called him in on Wednesday and said, "Hey, we need you to run the football," and
we did nothing off of that run, those runs.
Yeah.
We wasn't capitalizing off the run game. Like I said, we get in that situation early on where we have the run game set us up in goal situation, and we decide to go straight drop back from under center, as opposed to using that opportunity, going play action, maybe play action boot, play action rollout or something, and making it interesting. Because at that point, you got the defense on their heels now. They're expecting to run. We running it down their throat. No matter the down, no matter the distance, we were running the ball. That was a perfect situation. And you go straight drop back, knowing that they're sending the house.
Yeah, no creativity. But I got a conspiracy theory for you here. So Bagent is Getsy's guy. Getsy found him at the Senior Bowl because Getsy was coaching at the Senior Bowl, right? And he found his diamond in the rough. I guarantee you he's gonna have an excellent game plan for Tyson
The
Bagent this
Raiders.
week against the Raiders, and it's going to look magical. I see it now, and then everyone is going to be clamoring. We don't need Fields. We got this Bagent guy, and it's going to be ridiculous.
Okay, so I mean, what does that even mean, man? So Bagent's gonna take over the job,
and they're gonna run Justin out of here,
and Justin's gonna be on the bench the rest of the season.
Yep.
And Bagent won't have a job next year because then they'll draft the quarterback. Because if they don't draft the quarterback and keep Tyson Bagent, you might as well clean house completely.
Oh, and fire Poles.
Yes, that's what I say. You might as well clean house completely. Poles, welcome to career suicide at that point. He's not goddamn Brock Purdy. So let's not think that. We don't even have the support Brock Purdy has.
Nowhere near. But
so go ahead.
That's why they play the games, though. So we shall see.
Shall see.
I mean, I don't dislike Bagent. I think he's okay, but I think he's a player you develop in a couple of years, and then maybe you trade. I don't see him as the person that needs to be starting right now. I mean,
what did I sent you guys this
That
was pretty funny.
This means that let's see, last December, Tyson Bagent threw 2 interceptions and was sacked 8 times against Colorado School of Mines, which actually I hadn't heard of until about a month ago, when another friend of ours, a coworker of mine, he went to Grand Valley State, and so we were just looking at who does Grand Valley State play, and the Colorado School of Mines was one. What do they study at the Colorado School of Mines?
Fossil fuel.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke.
Did you read my comment?
Yeah.
Did you read the comment I said?
No. I see. Yeah, I see what you did there. Let's hope the Raiders don't cave in the passing pocket and we get the shaft by way of another home loss. I see what you did there.
Okay. I don't understand what the Bears are doing. I don't understand if you're supposed to be developing Justin, why aren't you consistent with what you do with him? There wasn't a big difference with the Denver to Washington. The game plan, offensively, execution wise, and what they were asked to do seemed to be very similar. They just stuck more to what was working in Washington and stayed away from like really bad play calls that put Justin in precarious situations. And then he had a much better, much cleaner game and a more dominant. I mean, put up 40 fucking points. Okay. So why against Minnesota did we come out just do some of what you were doing? You know, if Minnesota stops you, okay, and you have your adjustments, have your counterpunch, but to come out with something completely different, and you putting Justin in a spot that you put him in harm's way where he consistently has to try and get rid of the ball quickly, which hasn't been his strength. That has been a knock on him since he's been a professional. He doesn't, even before he's professional, he doesn't get rid of the ball. He holds on to the ball a little. He has, in college, coming to pros, is more of an elongated passing stroke. Okay? He kind of, he doesn't throw guys open. Kind of, takes a bit to get the ball out of his hands. As a professional, holds on to the ball too long and resorts to running. Blah blah blah. So why in the hell, if it's a blitzing team, are you going to ask him to get rid of the ball more quickly? I mean, it's counterintuitive. It's like backwardness.
Well, once again, and I've said this in the past, this before Justin became our quarterback. And I said, I feel the Bears are the only organization that listens to the media and do what the media says. Because, yeah, Glenn, you say he's had a problem getting the ball out quick, right? But week one, all he did was get the ball out quick. And what was the criticism? Oh, he had guys open down the field. He decided to get rid of it and get rid of it.
Well, getting
But
quick doesn't.
no,
Hold on, quick doesn't mean just to get. It was his outlets. That was a criticism week one. That's the getting rid of the ball quick is you can still move the ball upfield. You can still hit. You help them with slants. Is getting the ball out quick. With some quick hitch routes. That's getting out the ball quick. With some, I still yet to see us do like mesh routes consistently. All the speed we have. We have as much speed with our receiving crew as Miami does. Miami's faster with the running backs, overall team speed, but our speed with our wide receivers are very comparable to what Miami does. We don't do anything close to utilizing these guys and getting them out to where speed can organically get them open with crossing routes. You have things where you can have mismatches, or you have things where you can, have guys where they kind of get rubbed out just because of the design of the play. None of that stuff is being utilized. And these are guys that are fast enough so that Justin can throw the ball and they can run to it. We're not doing any of that. So that's what I mean when I say get the ball out quickly. I think the criticism Justin was he was bailing out to his phrase is escaping me right now, but basically
check down.
his check downs.
Yeah.
Thank you. He was throwing to his check downs too quickly. That was the criticism week one. And which he was. I mean preseason wise. I'm sorry about preseason wise, and then week one, it was like, oh, okay, he's going to check down because he was. To your point, though, as far as the media, he was criticized a year before that he didn't go to the check downs enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like it
Right.
seemed like they speak to the media. Like,
Well, do they listen to us? Because we've been telling these bugs, like, look, man,
they need to,
like,
because
like,
man,
like,
because I know I don't play Madden much, but I'm convinced I can come up with a better game plan on Madden than what we do in these games.
just steal some plays from the playbook. Really, just take Mike McDaniel. I'm sorry, Mike McDaniel's playbook off of Madden. But I don't understand why we couldn't come out with something similar to what we had the previous 2 weeks, because you had significant success. I mean, it was night and day success.
And I did find myself asking, was it the lack of running backs that hindered things? Because we came out against Washington, diamond set, first play of the game, motions out of it, and it's like, was it the fact that these running backs wasn't around, so we had to be kind of vanilla?
So
But it's still,
you were saying they were worried about the depth at the position and not going through them.
yeah.
I
I
can
did
see
find myself
that.
asking that.
That's a valid counter argument. But again, I would say with that, why aren't we trying jet sweeps? You got Valus Jones, you got Tyler Scott. Why don't you put one of those, get the shotgun and
They did a
have
couple of
Foreman.
those.
They did
a
they did a
jet.
couple of those. Right, but here's the thing. When you bring Valus in, that's the only time you ever bring him in, and then you take him right out. When you bring him in, I'm like, oh, hey guys, it's a
I know
jet
what's
sweep.
coming now. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, my point is, and here's what and to your point is, as far as being creative and not being creative, have Valus go in motion, see what that does. Have Valus go halfway in motion and then set back like as a running back in the shotgun with Justin.
Nah, because then you get a false start on 12.
There are things you can do. I mean, you could have
Absolutely, no. You're exactly right. You're right.
you could have Foreman and Valus in it back there in the shotgun with Justin. Now the defense is like, what are they doing? And then you could motion one of those guys out to see if a linebacker follows. If a linebacker follows Valus, okay, Valus is the guy. Have a quick route, Texas route, or some kind of quick underneath route or something. If the nickel back follows Valus, then okay, then I'm gonna have Valus move to a different direction, and then I'm gonna hand the ball off to Foreman going from the area that just got vacated by the guy that followed Bayless. I mean, just little things like that. I'm not saying these are perfect plays, but these are things you can do that at least keeps the pressure off of Justin in terms of having the when you got fucking seven guys at the line, 6 guys at the line, like 6 guys at the line. You got 5 blockers, 6 guys at the line, and you got a nickelback like hedging like he's gonna come as well. They may not all be coming, but more than at least 4 or 5 of those 6 or 7 are coming. And then it's like, okay, where do I have single coverage? Because as a cluster people over here, somebody might drive back into my passing zone. So I need to have somebody that I can throw to quickly. I mean, it's just get your 12 personnel out there. Why aren't we seeing more 12 personnel? 31 personnel. I mean, fuck, dude. I mean, get three tight ends out there and block it. I mean, that's why Getsy's got to go, bro. He just does. It's like, I mean, come on, man. And then it can't all just be, well, he's got to run the offense. Hard to run your offense. It's hard to run your offense.
Did y'all hear his explanation for the first play of the game?
No, what did he say?
So he said, like I said, he said Justin sent the protection the right way. But Justin, the idea was Justin was supposed to, once he got the ball, he was supposed to drift with the protection. But if you see the play, if you watch the play,
he still didn't have a shot.
If you watch the play, Danielle Hunter comes straight up the field. If Justin drifts, he smacked that way. So he had to stay where he was.
He would have to have sprinted. Justin would have to have sprinted to his right with the protection.
And just run the ball. It would have been a run play.
Well, no, he could sprint draw or not sprint draw, but he can't like sprint pass or whatever. But he would have to at that point, you're throwing to 1 or 2 guys or he's running the ball. And even then, Danielle probably still tackling him at his ankles.
Yeah.
He probably dislocates his thumb in the first play of the game as opposed to the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know we've said this ad nauseum. We're going in circles. I really see the offensive coordination as the bigger problem. We got problems, and Justin has contributed to these issues, and I'm getting a little frustrated as well with the stagnation. But the bigger problem is offensive coordinator. He was loose. I mean, look, I guess it's too late in the season now, but the month of November needs to be vastly different. I'm assuming Justin won't be back until November. It's got to be vastly different.
I got a question. Why did Matt Eberflus lie to us about Cody Whitehair being taken out?
It's another thing. That type of stuff makes you feel like it's sabotage. That was another factor that went into Justin's bad play. He's jumping and scooping snaps like a second baseman
all game.
Coming up,
we saw
hit.
It. And then finally he gets taken out, and it's like no. We just thought that Lucas Patrick was a better fit for Bagent. It's like no, he was taken out because he was bad. That's just say it. The center's number one objective is to snap the football, to give a good snap to the quarterback, get the ball to the quarterback. He wasn't doing that, so he had to go. Why are we protecting him?
He doesn't like to embarrass players. He's always been a player's coach in that respect. And for a team that's 1-5 now, I don't want to say you don't want to lose them, but you don't want a whole bunch of finger pointing to where it's us against them. It's the players against the coaching staff at that point.
I disagree.
Well,
but in a sense, he threw Justin under the bus. saying Justin held on to the ball, knowing that that's a known criticism of Justin, saying that he held the ball too long and that's what contributed to him getting injured, knowing that that's a known criticism of him. So he didn't protect his quarterback because that's feeding to everyone who criticizes Justin for that reason. So no, I just can't give him a pass there. That's bullshit to me. You
It all is. I'm just, I mean, you ask why. I'm like, that's the only reason I went into why he might have. And to your point, like with Justin, it's a known criticism, so he's not saying anything that isn't already known and already accepted as.
But Getsy kind of protected his quarterback a little bit. Getsy say,
did he?
Yeah, he did on that play. On that play, Getsy
said Bagent's his coach. You say Bagent's his boy. So you say
Getsy on that play said Justin. The idea was if his first read wasn't there to extend the play, and that's what he went to do, to roll out and hit somebody. He said, but he ended up getting hit from behind. So it was kind of weird because I'm like, I didn't know you actually, and maybe I'll correct me here, I didn't know you actually design plays with the notion to extend it. I thought that just happens freelance. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I thought that just happens off instinct. He said that was in the play design.
You got to be ready for everything.
See, y'all don't understand because y'all don't understand football. See, let me learn y'all. When you're in the meeting and they crowd up on the whiteboard, that's when those dots. That's when you get the dots go around in a circle like that. That's just this is where you run around in a circle. Go up here. Then you come back another figure 8, and then you get released the ball. That's what all those dots is for, man. And you got to play a little music in your head to give you. So that's for the timing. That's how that play works.
Bagent, what do we expect from him against the Raiders this week?
I actually expect him to play well and then not to play well. I don't think you'll see someone who's going to look too flustered. He tends to have a lot of poise. He has kind of a California cool kind of way he is in the pocket. I do expect us to probably throw the ball 35 plus times.
You ain't got no choice.
That's gonna be part of it, but I think we're gonna see a lot more quicker routes, or we'll see passes completed on quicker routes than we have. He is more decisive than Justin. Not saying his decisions are always going to be the right ones, but he's more decisive. I think that part is clear. I don't think we're saying anything to anybody watching, preseason to now wouldn't agree to that. But for them to have success, to win, they're going to have to win the ball because Crosby's going to be in his grill, and that defense is going to try to affect things in terms of turnover. Now, I don't know about he being Tyson. I don't know about his ball security. I'm a little concerned about that when we saw that.
Well, we saw that last week. Yeah,
exactly. So that's a concern. And I'm not saying he can't. It's just that his experience in the NFL, the speed, it just isn't there. And so I can see him being stripped from behind or being hit or something like that, like what we saw last week. So ball security is an issue. The running game needs to at least flash and show. Expect some, like you said, some screens, some wide receiver screens, some tight end screens. I don't know how big his arm is to really challenge past maybe 30, 40 yards. So I don't know we'll see any deep balls. So I think we're looking to see a lot of short to intermediate routes. That's what I'm expecting.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I hope he crashed flat on his face.
I thought you was a Bears fan, man. What did he do to you? You don't like his tattoos or what? What
I'm
did he
just
do to
I'm
you?
I'm just sick of the Bears fans. I'm just sick of them, and so
Let's talk about that.
I root against everybody I wanted the same with Trevor Siemian last year because they was all on his tail, and then we lose to the Jets and Mike White.
I
Like,
I didn't understand the whole Trevor Siemian thing
yeah,
because I
it's
mean
we seen what he
I
could do.
like to pride ourselves in being smart fans.
We're not.
We saw what he did at Northwestern. Why would we think
No,
that that would
all five of us that were
translate here?
watching,
Because
all
the
five
thing
of us that were
is,
watching Northwestern play.
they
Come
don't
on, man.
they want Fields out so bad that the backup is the hottest thing going in Chicago. It's always been the
Well,
best quarterback in
it's always been
Chicago.
that way. It's
You
always
know,
been that way.
but I mean, we'll see. I mean, hey, like I say, my thing is this: I don't expect him to blow anybody away. Only thing he has a chance at doing is assuring us that Justin Fields won't be our quarterback no more. I don't
So you
see him
expect
doing. I don't see him doing anything miraculously enough where he's our starter next year.
No.
no.
That's so I mean so it's all
I
it is
could
him
I could see him being a long-term
starter
backup
somewhere
though.
else.
No, I'm a long-term backup
Here,
here,
yes. I said
developing him for that.
you can
I
develop
would
him
be
and trade
fine with
him.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Kid played a shepherd for God's sake. I mean, stop. He lost to the coal miners, the coalition of coal
Goal
miners from
minus.
Colorado. I don't even know what that school is, but let's talk about that. The fickle fair fan base when it comes to quarterbacking. Now, why do you think people were clamoring for Justin to be gone? Why do you think that it's such a fervor for Justin to be gone as opposed to looking at the coaching staff as being the primary problem, or like how much do you think the fans are blaming Justin as opposed to just blowing the whole thing up?
I think a lot of these dumb fans believe you can bring in that kid who just looked terrible once he played a solid defense and it just takes one person to change the fortunes. That's what these fans believe. That's what they've been trained to believe though, because the media portrays it that way. That you can just draft the quarterback and everything changes. And let's have we seen that? Have we
Well,
seen that?
I mean, what does Kansas outside of before Mahomes got there? What did Kansas City have that made them also great?
They were a playoff team before he got there.
Yes,
They were in the playoffs the year they drafted him.
yes.
They had a very good defense.
They had a very good defense. Had a solid running
and had a
game,
solid. Yeah, I give you that.
and
I
one of
mean,
the best
I'm not
offensive
saying he
minded.
didn't
They
I'm not
One
saying
of
he
the,
didn't take them over the top, but they had a foundation. They had a
okay.
foundation. Dallas, well, that he wasn't a first round draft pick, like
and it wasn't on a bad team. Dak.
Well,
you know, like
Dak came in with he had a great offensive line, but he was a fourth round pick though.
yeah. But like, where have we seen it? I mean, maybe Buffalo.
Oh,
Well,
or,
they built with him though.
yeah, it took a few years.
Yeah,
You talking about
they
with Josh
built with
Allen? Took a few
Josh
years.
Allen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's been very rare that a rookie quarterback has come in and had just a resounding success. And if usually that would be a rookie that's on a team that was pretty much already good. I don't think we've ever seen a rookie come in and take and by rookie I'm saying a top 10 pick come in, or even a top 5, but a top 10 pick come in and just immediately change the fortunes of the team. Ben Roethlisberger
Joe
might be
Burrow.
the closest, and I
But
think
they were a good team.
I was going to say in terms of team was
They told him, hey, you
it
just
wasn't even
be a
his team.
game manager, and yeah.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to be the guy. It was Tommy Maddox. Tommy Maddox ended up getting hurt. But I'm saying I think Ben was like a top 15 pick,
John Elway.
maybe.
Joe
Didn't
Burrow.
change the first year, huh?
Joe Burrow.
It's still they're a losing team. They never won a record when he was in there, and not
That's what I'm
not only that.
saying. I'm
within
saying,
2 years though,
that's what I'm saying.
they were in the
With
Super Bowl his second
year
year,
2,
right?
they were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I can say.
So what's your time limit of changing things around? I thought you meant
Well,
the first year.
No, I'm saying it's not common.
With
It's not common,
Justin's in year 3 now, so
and
we're
the
trying to
key,
find the example of a quarterback getting drafted and changing the fortunes of a team.
and when I'm saying
People, Peyton Manning, we're a bad team. They traded him.
but that's what I'm saying. It's not as common. I'm not saying it hasn't happened.
It still takes years. It's still
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it
And
still
that's
takes
my thing.
years.
It's
Well, I think that's the point, right?
Bears fans believe next year with the quarterback, we will be fine. And that's my issue with Bears fans, because when it shows with the next guy that it's still a process, their patience is going to weigh thin with them. And that's my issue.
We gave Mitch 4 full seasons.
We gave Mitch 4. Now we're giving Justin 3. It's going to be 2 with the next guy. Especially if Bagent shows to be competent. It's definitely going to be 2 if he's the backup next year. That's my thing. It's no process here. Honestly, and I think we spoke on this last time, I believe the best case scenario would be for Chicago, for Justin to, as he looked to be trending up before just crashing down like he did, the best case scenario would have been for him to continue to trend up, no matter what we do record-wise, but his play continue to trend up, and we trade that top pick if we get it to get more assets and keep the quarterback and get more assets to where you still have a chance if it show after you probably pick up his 5th-year option. But you can draft the second or third round quarterback. You build your roster. Like I seen one person on TV speak to that, and that was Himbo, the guy who give the trivia questions on ESPN. He spoke on Philadelphia and Dallas, and he was like, people are so clamored about getting that first round quarterback, and they don't build up their rosters. And you look at Philly, who built the foundation. You look at Dallas, who built the foundation, and they are having success with the 4th rounder and a 2nd round quarterback. Like because everything else around them is strong. We want Justin or whoever else to come in here to work a miracle.
And that's not fair to him.
That's not fair to anybody.
Nobody. Yeah. It's not fair to the next guy if we do choose to get rid of Justin.
We're in a position right now where we're going to have 2 top 10 picks.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why go after the quarterback now? The quarterback, well, I know everybody's been talking about how Caleb Williams is this, the next great one.
Your boy here has never been on that bandwagon.
You said that last
time. I watched the Notre Dame game. Okay, you're allowed a bad game. Okay. But I haven't seen him play just this lights out, in a against a top tier team. I haven't seen it.
And we won't see it because now we won't get him against Alabama or Georgia.
You still see him against got to play Washington.
You got to play Washington, yeah.
You got to play Utah.
Yeah.
And they lost to Utah twice last year. We've seen him do it. We've seen him do it in his career briefly in Oklahoma.
And don't get me
We've
wrong,
seen him.
I think he's good.
He's very
I
talented,
think he's
Yeah,
talented,
yeah.
definitely.
but he does what I've been saying he does, and he finally bit his in the last big time.
He
Doesn't set his feet.
he has a lot of the flaws that a lot of people speak on Justin. He holds the hell out of the ball as well. He moves. He has the ability to move. He can be creative,
Well,
but he not Pat Mahomes. I'll just say that.
no, he's not. He plays his game in college differently than Justin did. Justin,
Yeah,
Justin stayed in the pocket more.
but I'm
Justin,
speaking on Justin now as a player, not
right,
what he was in college.
right. Well, I'll say this. I mean, even Caleb now, as when he's holding on to the ball, he's holding on to it. It's kind of a combination of Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes ish, where he's holding on to it, trying to pass the ball. And then at the last moment, if he can't, then he'll do some kind of spectacular run or whatever, or try to make a spectacular run, or he'll throw some kind of, off angled, off balance pass, and everyone will go, "Ooh, ah." And Justin doesn't even really do that so much in pros. Justin usually, like when he's running, he's like, "Fuck it, I'm running." He pretty much commits to that. Um, or if he's trying to pass the ball, he's holding on to it, looking for somebody, but not really moving at the same time. It's like a combination, like you hold on to it and you're not moving. It's like you don't hold on to it, kind of move around, so you're not such an easy target. Anyway, Caleb, it's proof, and I don't know who one of you guys said it or where I heard it before. It's proof, and maybe my best friend might have said it's proof that there's not a lot of fundamentals being taught to these college players, particularly at the quarterback position. They don't spend the time hammering it. It's like, we need to win now. So give me the best athlete, and this is the system, and this is what we're doing. And my athlete throw to the other athlete. And Lincoln Riley, his offense is been a really good offense, explosive offense. I mean, hell, he's had 3 Heisman Trophy winners. Okay, he'll probably have 3 first round or first number 1 picks overall taken in the draft. Caleb's probably still gonna go number 1. But you look at those guys, Baker Mayfield struggling, Kyler Murray struggling. Those guys are a bit height adverse, and Caleb's only about 6'1". But
Who was the last one? I'm
again,
sorry.
I
Kyler
said
Murray.
Dropped out.
Kyler Murray,
You said Kyler Murray and who else?
Baker
That was it.
Mayfield.
No, before
Ba-
after that.
That was it.
no, that was
Oh,
it.
that's only okay. I thought
Yeah,
you
just
said
Baker
something else. Okay,
Mayfield
I got you.
and Kyler Murray and now Caleb. And Caleb is 6'1", so he's not he's not the tallest, but it'll do. But I think those guys, and I mean Jalen Hurts also learned under Lincoln Riley, but Jalen's a different sort. Jalen was that guy that always improved every year, and he's a coach's son. Different situation altogether.
And he had a chip on his shoulder.
Well, chip on his shoulder, but I think he's a guy that he's perfectionist. I think he's an imperfect perfectionist. And he's a coach's son, so he's going to
You don't
always say, "I got to do better."
you,
You
you
know,
don't you don't think getting benched at halftime in that championship game ain't motivate that man in a different way?
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying whether it happened or didn't, he's still going to try and improve. That's just who he is. He's going to always look. He looked better as a starter.
I think
You
that's
know,
why I think that's why he has that label now.
You think that
it
changed
could
something
be,
in him?
Yes. I I, I
could be.
think I think that's what changed in him because no one was saying that before that he was improving every year. No one was saying that. It was it was like they can't throw the ball much in Alabama. They just a running team. Then he got benched.
But it's hard to it's hard to argue your statement because the years in Alabama were just 2 years, and by the time he gets to the pros, now you have 3 and 4 years. You have more time to see that he's making an improvement. His first year in Alabama, they lose with the national championship game, I think.
They lost. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think they lost to Clemson, right?
Is that the year they lost to
No,
Deshaun?
they won.
No,
No,
he
no,
hasn't.
no, no, no,
No, no, no, no.
no.
Jalen
They
Hurts.
lost his first year. I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's
No,
the year they lost to Deshaun.
Yeah, they lost to Deshaun.
I think that's the year they lost to Deshaun.
Yeah,
The next
right.
year was when Tua
He got
came in
right.
That's what I
and
was
won.
thinking of. That's what I was thinking about. I'm sorry.
But
Right.
he was there one more year. He stayed the next year.
Right.
As a
So
backup?
he
But
was yeah,
he was the backup.
yeah. And he came
Okay.
in and won the SEC championship game
Right.
for them.
But my point is he looked better his second year. He just wasn't growing leaps and bounds, but he looked better his second year as a starter. It just he struggled and he didn't have those concepts down. And make Tua came in and through the pass, and then after that, the thing. So when he goes to Oklahoma, we see him improving. Yeah, I'm sure he was extra motivated, no doubt. But even as a pro, we've seen him improve each year. Now this year, he's I don't know if he's backslid as much as it's a different offensive coordinator. It's a different defensive coordinator. It's a different team. It's just they're still struggling to hit their stride, but I don't think he looks horrible. Point is, going back to Caleb, he
That's on one thing.
it's going to be the same situation if he comes here and we don't have a good offensive coordinator. You're gonna have the same
Mm-hmm.
situation that you had with Justin.
Absolutely.
And so the question is it that you don't draft Caleb? Does that mean you draft Drake May? Look, I like Drake May. I'm not over enamored with him. I think he's like Justin Herbert like in a lot of ways, but this guy has 4 or 5 interceptions on the season already as well. I mean, you know, he looks good against the teams that aren't good. So do you wait for Michael Penix? Is he the guy? His injury history kind of scares me off a little bit as a number 1 pick overall. If quarterback is what you're going to use to replace him with.
Why do we have to use a quarterback at that at this spot?
I don't believe we need to.
That's but
But
that
but
that's
but
what
that's
that's
but
what
that's what
we were
I'm speaking
speaking.
of. I'm speaking of what Brandon's saying. So if we get a quarterback, what does that mean? It's like, well, if we get the quarterback, then you're going to have to hit. And this is my point. Excuse me. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. More times than not, I think it really matters. Even it matters maybe more so who your offensive coordinator is and who your quarterback, who's developing your quarterback. Because we've seen Tua be a person that looked like he was going to be a bust, and now all of a sudden he's an MVP. He's seen, as long as he's healthy, he's going to be MVP perennial candidate. Because you look at what Mike McDaniel offense is doing. Joe Burrow looked great, but I mean that LSU offense is one of the best I've ever seen in my 50 plus years of watching college football. Okay, but he came to a Cincinnati team that had the coaching staff was already in place. Those guys haven't left. They've been there since he's been there. The receivers were there when Chase came in the year after, but Boyd and Higgins were already there.
Mm-hmm.
Mixon was already there. You know, they've grown together. You look at Herbert, he's had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and now they got another talent. He's had Eckler. He's had a decent offensive line. These guys have had these people, people in place already. You need offense. You look at what the dude in Buffalo, Josh Allen. You know, Brian Daboll was his offensive coordinator. He leaves last year, and Josh Allen doesn't quite look the same. He's a little more reckless. But now, a year after that, a little bit tempered. The offensive coordinator makes a difference, man. It does. You look at Justin. I'm not Justin. Jalen. We just talked about Jalen under was it
Spiking.
Steichen? Yeah, Steichen. It's like, man, wow, hitting on all cylinders. He MVP candidate. He leaves a little bit of, adjustment period. You look at Indianapolis. It was like, man, dude, Anthony Richardson didn't play very much in college, and outside of him taking all the head, the physical abuse that he took in the short amount of time he played, there are some times where like the Colts had to lead on some teams. Like, whoa, the Colts, like, man, Richardson, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs. Coordinator makes a difference, man. It really does. You look at the Chiefs this year.
That's something nobody want to talk about. But
Nagy's jacking them up, dog.
Nagy.
We've been
nobody
talking about
want to
that.
talk about it. Like
They're averaging Nagy numbers like 20 points, like just barely around 20 points a game.
Like,
Come on, man. If it wasn't for their defense, they'd be like 3-3.
Keyshawn brought that up. Keyshawn Johnson brought that up. Like, nobody want to speak on it, but
I won't talk
it's
about
only
it.
one. It's only one difference. And like, I
And
don't know. And Keyshawn said, he like, I don't care. I don't know if he was calling plays. He probably wasn't. But his demeanor and his attitude made them guys get it right, get it together.
It brought something. That's right.
Now you got Mr. Friendly, Pat coaching him. And they don't look the same.
they put it on the receivers. They put it on. I'm like, those are the same receivers they had last year, right? With the exception of Juju Schuster's the only one that ain't there. It's the same receivers they had last year. The same receivers.
That's why.
So they should be a year better. And they look at a year where you got Rashee Rice, the rookie, looking better than most of the other guys. That Nagy effect, man. It's that Nagy effect. And you look at the Commanders. What are they averaging? Almost like 27 points a game, 26 points a game, something like that. Come on, man.
Got like 1,600 yards or something.
Come on. So I know, to get back to your question, man, I really think that we need to get the offense. We need to get the coaching staff right. I mean, can we get that shit right? We need to get a legitimate, like, who ask us who's the best offensive coordinator we've ever seen in Chicago Bear history. And I'm scratching my head, dude. I mean, what offensive coordinator left here and got a head coaching job somewhere else?
Adam Gase.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly.
No.
And that's not saying much.
Ron Turner?
No.
Ron Turner, the first time around?
He left and became the head coach of Illinois?
At Illinois, yeah.
No, I'm talking about a professional head coaching job. No.
I can't give you that then.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sorry, man. It's
Danny Abramowitz became a interim coach for the Saints, I think.
Right. But what, he like the special teams coach or the running backs coach or something?
You're right. He wasn't the offensive coordinator. He was He was Ditka's offensive coordinator, wasn't he?
Was he? I have to go back and see.
You're right. No, you know it was Greg Landry was the
Greg Landry
was the offensive coordinator. That's right. I can't name. Yeah,
dude, our offensive coordinators have not been good, let alone good enough to develop somebody. Yeah. Look, man, if there's any right now, head coaching or offensive, that's the thing. You can't even ask an offensive coordinator on some other team to come here and be the coordinator, because that's like a lateral move that doesn't really happen often. And if you do that, you have to promise them something like what Washington promised Bieniemy and make him associate head coach. Because it's something with the NFL where I don't know if it's very rare that you leave one coordinator position and then unless you're let go.
You can't. You have to, in order to get out of that contract, it's got to be a step up move. Right.
So unless some head coach gets fired who's got offensive coordinating position, like Bill Bradley, or not. I always call him Bill Bradley. What's it to Bill O'Brien? I'm sorry. Is it Bill O'Brien?
Bill O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bill O'Brien, where he was. But then he went to college and came back from college, so it's not the same thing. Like maybe, and I don't know. Do you hire a head coach? You probably have to go to college and find someone that's been a good offensive coordinator for a number of years, and have them come here to be your offensive coordinator.
Well, this goes back to what Colin Cowherd talks about. You can't hire defensive assistants anymore to be a head coach.
You can. You just gotta be able to hire. You gotta know who you gotta be able to get.
But
I get what you're
gonna
saying.
get the best offensive mind and then keep them here?
Somehow Mike.
Because if the offensive coordinator comes and has success, he's going to get a head coaching job somewhere else.
Somehow Bill Belichick was able to do that for 20 plus years.
But they all leave, but they suck as head coaches, though.
You just asked me the question. You didn't ask me about their life after they leave.
I wouldn't say but he replaced them because he
replaced them until he couldn't. Remember his last offensive coordinator last year was who?
Yeah, he
was Matt Patricia.
At that point, he was
Joe Patricia, Matt Judge.
Matt Patricia had never even coached offense before.
He was a coordinator, the coordinator.
Right.
I think, and this is the thing I think with the Chicago, the issue with Chicago with the coaching situation. We've been in the slums for so long that we go get these coaches now. They come in, whether it's a coordinator, head coach, whatever it may be, they come in and they try to reinvent the wheel. They feel that they got to do something that ain't never been done before because the Bears has stunk for so long when it comes to developing quarterbacks. Instead of just doing whatever your quarterback does good, we want to be the smartest in the room. And it's mind blowing to see the list of quarterbacks that have started for the Chicago Bears since the year 2000. Like it's been we in 2023.
That's a bad list,
and we probably doubled that in number. Like, like we, in my opinion, we have to go get a coach with experience. In my opinion.
Who is that?
I don't know.
What coach with experience is out there?
I mean, you go throw the house at Jim Harbaugh.
Okay.
I mean,
he might
be
having to leave now.
You throw the house at him.
He's under investigation again.
Man, they just coming after him. They're trying to find any reason. The NCAA hates Jim Harbaugh. It is so damn petty.
I'm on the Jim Harbaugh bandwagon.
That's Kevin Warren, man. He done called in the people.
That's what he did.
I need y'all to get the heat up. I'm trying to bring him here. Look, because I mean, got to do something, man. Because the first time head coaching train ain't working.
But see, that's the other problem. So now, here, this is why this is such a clusterfuck. So either if we get a new head coach, is a new head coach, and regardless of whether he's offensive coordinator or whatever. But even if he is he going to want Justin, or is he going to want his own quarterback and the time to develop that quarterback? So I'm saying you get the new head coach, you're probably saying you're going to get a new quarterback, unless you can find someone that thinks Justin is okay. Now, if you find someone that thinks Justin's okay, then you probably really need to make sure that head coach is an offensive-minded head coach and is going to have a strong hand in Justin's development and in the offenses schematically being, things done schematically from week to week with the game plan. It also involves not just Justin's development, but the offenses, everyone's development on the offense. Good luck with that. That's something we've almost never done in the history of the Chicago Bears. So we're asking for something we've pretty much haven't seen happen in half a century, or outside of George Halas, creating T formation or whatever that was revolutionary back then. We're trying to do that, or we get somebody, head coach, that doesn't want Justin. So we're going to have to spend that pick on quarterback. But then the question is, what quarterback are you spending that pick on? Because if Caleb Williams becomes the same type of situational development where it's set the feet, throw the ball, that kind of thing.
And that's
Or,
where. Oh, go ahead.
or I was gonna say, or do you get someone who's been a head coach and is very good offensively, but it's a college coach, and you bring Lincoln Riley from USC to Chicago, and that way the development of Caleb, he already knows. So you kind of come into that situation a little bit ahead of it because he doesn't have to figure out what Caleb can and can't do because he already knows.
You know why I hate the idea of Lincoln Riley?
His
Because
teams never win.
and his defenses always
They
suck.
just suck. They're
Exactly.
terrible.
They
I
always
agree.
suck.
I agree.
Like I get this is an
Now, I think
offensive league.
it's probably easier to get that defensive coordinator guy to come in and set up your defense than it is to find an offensive guy.
I agree with that as well.
But that way you.
So what you're saying then is
that's true.
Justin's out. Then Justin's out. Right now,
No, I
there are
don't think.
four.
I don't think that says that.
There are 3 to 4.
I don't think
There for every reason you can give me, I can give you 2 reasons why Justin should be
There's
not.
no.
Should
You
not
don't
be
think.
here.
You don't think there will be one offensive coach that'll say I can work with Justin Fields. We just need to get the talent around him.
Not with 2 first-round picks.
No.
Not with 2 top 10 first-round picks, and thinking about the time because your time doesn't. This is Justin's second year, maybe. You're talking about Justin. Keep in mind, after the draft is over, is when the Bears, like a week after or whatever, the Bears are going to have to decide whether or not they're picking up his option.
Right.
And if they're picking up his option year, then that gives you 2 years to figure it out. But you got to purge him. All the traumatic, post-traumatic stuff he's done, all his mistakes. That's the reality because you're gonna have to unlearn him.
Shit is worth it. I think it's worth it.
You may think it's worth it, but we're talking time now, and time and money is now working against. It's working against you. It's working against you at a more rapid pace at that juncture than what it is right now.
But I'm not even saying it's worth it for the sake of Justin. I'm saying it's worth it for the sake of a new coach because you can build the roster. And if Justin after year 5 shows to not, now you've created, you've got capital to where you can still get the quarterback, but you built your roster up. I'm not saying you're wrong that I know it's going to be hard to find a coach that's going to say they want to keep Justin Fields. But to me, that is the best. Like that will show me how invested you are in winning. If you decide I can probably change him. Let's fill these holes. Because if we take that pick, are we going to take that pick and also take Marvin Harrison Jr.? Or are we going to take that pick and get a lineman? Like, then it becomes those things. It's like.
Well, here's the question, though.
You got to go lineman in my eyes.
Here's the question.
But,
I get what I agree with you. I agree with you. But the question that hasn't been answered yet, and that started this whole thing when Ez was talking about fans and we're going back and forth with Justin, we still don't know for certain Justin's the guy. What if Justin is a big part of the problem too? But we don't know it because we're not there in practice. We're not there, and the coaching staff is not trying to not only make him look bad, but also trying not to devalue him in case they need to trade him.
How do you find that
out? That's the dilemma. That's what the GM is going to know more than we are. The GM is the person that should be able to have access to that knowledge and information. We won't.
So
we're reactionary.
I'm gonna say this about the GM. It's time for him to take some swings and not on just a Claypool type shit. Take some swings and I gave him credit for spending. I thought he spent the money wisely. I'm starting to regret that. But like take some swings on some people.
What
Man, he got to take some chances.
I mean, the players he spent the money on, I think they're doing right. I don't think he really horribly missed on the free agent stuff. Claypool was a miss. Obviously, we see that now.
Yeah.
But
To me,
I
that was
mean,
the only swing he took, though. I think a lot of the stuff he done was safe.
but slow and steady wins the race, right? You're talking about development. Well, you taking these big swings. That's kind of we have what 7 draft picks next year at this point.
I'm
You're
be
gonna need more
interested to
draft
see.
picks. We're gonna need more draft picks.
That's what I'm saying. And the only way to do that,
Well, I don't know. If you pick up Justin's option, but then you trade him,
if that you can do that, I'm not. If somehow we can get a third first, or so, I don't know. You ain't getting a first for Justice, so that's not gonna happen. But like, if you can, if it's some way,
What if he tears it up the final 6 weeks of the season?
you still not getting the first one.
no, you might be able to get a third, and a sixth, a third, and a fifth even after. I mean, if you pick his option year, that makes him a bit more tradable. So the team that you trade him to is not getting killed. And if they do something with him, great. If not, then they had a good athletic backup quarterback or starting quarterback or whatever situation was for a year. It may buy them some time. It's just a mess, and the biggest part of the whole mess is we still don't know if Justin is the guy. We don't know. We like him to be, want him to be, and there are those out there that don't care, don't want him with somebody else. They're not there convinced that he's a bust and won't ever be more than what we've seen. But that just to be that polarizing means that there's nothing definitive.
Hey, fellas,
And
last
here
thing
we,
before. Oh, sorry.
no, I was just saying that, and here we are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Last thing before we go to picks, I almost forgot about this, man. I think this guy is my number 5 Bears killer of all time, behind Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Barry Sanders, and Chris Carter. Listen to what he had to say last week.
Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy was walking by, and Steve called out to him, and he got a different reaction.
I called out to him because on my podcast, Cut to It, I just talked about guys that maybe have not showed up in a way or in a manner. And so the word that I've used to describe him in the past was a jag, just a guy.
Just a guy.
When I saw him, he's playing well. I wanted to say to him face to face, like, hey, I know I said some things in the past I probably shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to say to him. His response, Mike Robb, was ninja.
Ninja.
Yes, I'm using the word ninja. I'm just using the word ninja. I don't mess with you. And it was a curse word. And so I was like, all right. And then he repeated it. So I'll say it again. I'm sorry that I said you were a jag, just a guy who's an average wide receiver they use a first-round pick on that isn't doing anything. I hope today that you actually show up in a way that you haven't showed up in the last couple of years since they drafted you. So if you ever got a problem with Agent 89, I'm sorry for saying that you're an average wide receiver that they eventually will move on. And when teams call me and asking, should they trade for you, I will say no, don't trade for Jerry Jeudy, because he's mentally unable to handle constructive criticism from people who watch specifically, can he be a wide receiver? He could be a wide receiver. He's a tier 3. Go back into the studio. I'm done now. Thank you.
That when I saw it, it's like, okay.
Steve Smith on Jerry Jeudy. I love Steve Smith. Smoke, what you think, man? Was he wrong?
So I don't think Steve Smith was wrong for calling him just a guy. I don't. But you're going to publicly speak that way of me and say that I'm not that good, don't privately try to clean it up. Like, say that live. Or if you do, and I say, man, you said some foul stuff about me, I don't rock with you, don't go back on live television and further trash me Simply because I ain't rocking with you, dog. Like you said what you said about me. I wasn't feeling that. And you went ham. If they ever ask me to trade, I don't trade for him. He's like he hurt your feelings because he didn't like what you said to him. He was supposed to just accept what you said to him and move on. Like I can't rock with Steve there, man. I can't.
Yeah,
Interesting.
you can't take it personal, man. You can't take that personal. And I still love Steve Smith though, because he
Oh yeah, I rock with him. It was hilarious. It was great content. Like, cause the way he started it, I'm like, oh, he about to just, say that he didn't want to talk to him, and then he just kept going. I'm like, okay. Don't trade for him. He tier 3, and he. I'm like, okay, he's hurt.
Well, I mean, he said not for Judy to take it personally, but it looked like Steve taking it personal.
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Steve took it personal.
I
Like,
still love him. Oh man, that was funny.
And then Judy went out to prove him right, and he had a really bad game.
He did. What do you have? 3 catches, 14 yards?
Something like
26
that.
yards.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Gotta do better.
But to Judy defense, his quarterback played pretty bad that day.
Can't let sing it get in your head like that, though.
Man. Hey, fellas, let's go to picks. So 2 weeks ago, we had some picks. I went 2-1. Smoke, you went 2-1 as well. And Glenn 1-2. You had a bad break. You had Maryland plus 19.5 against Ohio State, and Ohio State won by 20.
See, that's just
Sorry about that.
garbage. Just garbage.
So you guys are tied now at 9-6, and I'm 1 game behind at 8-7. So since I'm at the rear, I guess I will be picking first again. Getting used to that. All right, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna take the Fighting Illini plus 2.5. Homecoming against Wisconsin. I'm gonna take Duke plus 14.5 going to Florida State. I'm gonna take the Lion plus the 3.
Me too.
Me 3.
I'm going to Baltimore. All right. Smoke, who you got?
I'm gonna go Cleveland -3 versus the Colts. Is Daniel Jones playing Sunday?
I do not know.
If they're not playing, you got a better chance of the Giants to play better. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. So I don't know that, so I'm gonna stay away. I already said Lions the +3, and I'm gonna go Dolphins +2.5 versus the Eagles.
I can see the Dolphins winning that one outright.
If Lane Johnson ain't playing, they definitely gonna win.
You said Dolphins plus 2.5, right?
Yep.
Okay. GM.
Go with the aforementioned Lions plus 3.5, right?
Yeah, +3.
+3, I'm sorry, against the Ravens. Go back to college. I'm going to take the Penn State Nittany Lions plus 4.5 on the road against the guys of Ohio State. And then
Plus 4.5?
Yeah, plus 4.5.
Really? Okay.
And then I'm going to do what every volunteer should do. Pick Alabama to whoop our ass in Tuscaloosa. It's a 9-point spread, and it might get uglier than that. I like our defense, Joe Milton. I'm ready to move on from Joe Milton, and let me see what the freshman quarterback can do. Joe's got the athletic body of sculpted Greek statue. He throws about as stiff as one, so it's very, very inaccurate. Big arm.
Minus the 9.
Minus the 9. Alabama -9 at home.
You guys are gonna cover.
Yeah, right. That's even more annoying. Cover and still lose.
By the way, Daniel Jones was limited in practice today.
Yeah, that sounds like he's starting Sunday.
Yeah. Listed as questionable.
Game time decision.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening. We greatly appreciate it. You can catch our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. We can also catch other content, including the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs and the Father Good podcast hosted by Marshall Givens and Kenny Stevenson. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
Hey, it's like we always say, don't catch COVID. So.
Yeah. By the way, man, good of you to come on, man. Good of you to come on, man. You're under the weather, but you fought through it. So good stuff, man.
Push through it for us. Push through it for y'all, for the thing.
Coffee medicine works just long enough. I feel like you're ready to come on. We'll start yakking in a few moments.
Also, shout out to, I was in Canada, man. Shout out to Luke Wilson, former Seahawks tight end, who is now an analyst for TSN.
Okay.
He broke down the Bears-Commanders game like a pro, man, on TSN. I was a little worried I wasn't going to get any Bears coverage up in Canada. No, he took care of it, man. So shout out to Luke Wilson up there in at TSN in Canada.
Sounds like he'll be on somebody's broadcast pretty soon.
Maybe just making a name for himself up there, man. He's the national voice up there.
And that's where I need to go. In our wrong spots.
I love Kansas. It's too damn cold up there. Hey, everybody, we'll catch you next week.